Good evening, everyone. Welcome along to the Commentary Hub and all of our partner channels for the second game of the Arnold Clark Cup. The first one, obviously, was earlier on, which you would have heard with Russ Vernon. And it was obviously the game between Germany and Spain, which ended one apiece with Schuler's late equaliser for the Germans there. And we've got Nicholas Jones in the commentary box for this one as England take on Canada. So we'll come over to Nicholas for that all-important team news in a second. But just for the time being, there's some games going on in Europe as well. So I'm just going to run you through a few of these scores. It's Barcelona 1, Napoli 1, Borussia Dortmund 1, Rangers 4. Yes, I did say Rangers are winning 4-1 in Germany. That isn't a mistake or an error. Sheriff Tiraspol are beating Sporting Braga by 1-0. And Real Betis are winning 3-2 away at Zenit St. Petersburg as well. We'll try and keep you across everything that's going on in the games between Atalanta and Olympiacos, FC Porto, Lazio, RB Leipzig, Real Sociedad, Sevilla and Dinamo Zagreb, and obviously the games that involve Celtic and Rangers in the Conference League as well. But Nicholas, obviously, a fantastic tournament and got underway nicely earlier with a draw between the Germans and Spain. England, Canada, how are things looking with the two lineups, and what do you reckon? How do you reckon the game's going to pan out?
Evening, Mike. And as I speak, the teams are coming out now quickly. But just before we can get on, quick team news is that Steph Hawson missing because of an aggravated Achilles injury. So Leah Williamson will take her place as captain. No injuries to Canada, but legendary goal scorer Christine Sinclair will be absent due to a family bereavement. So Jessie Fleming is now the captain, and the teams are now coming out onto the pitch. The Canadian players are ebullient and giving each other high fives. So we are gathering for the national anthems, and we will let you know who will start off first. I believe it will be Canada to start off first in the national anthem. So ladies and gentlemen, we now pause for the national anthems at the Riverside. Both national anthems sung by the two teams under management. Canada, a bit more excitement than England, no disrespect to the Lionesses. So now we can go through the lineups, starting with England. Mary Earps is in goal. Then it's Daly, Stokes, Walsh, Greenwood, Bright, Kirby, Williamson, Toon, Hemp and Russo. The substitutes, Hannah Hampton, the reserve goalkeeper. Then Ellen White, England's top women goal scorer at the minute, with Lucy Bronze making a return after injury. Then we have Stanway, Carter, Mead, Paris, Nobbs, Charles, Scott, and Zeeland. For Canada, Kaylin Sheridan is in goal. And the rest of the squad, Kadisha Buchanan, Deanne Rose, who plays for Reading in the Women's Super League, Julia Grosso, Jade Riviere, Jordan Hoytman, Ashley Lawrence, Desiree Scott, Janine Becky, the captain Fleming, as mentioned earlier, and Vanessa Gilles. The substitutes, Sabrina D'Angelo is the reserve goalkeeper. Then it's Then the rest of the substitutes are Chapman, Zadorsky, Quinn, Schmidt, Carl, Prince, Boyshuk, Marie Yasmin Aludou Danju, Chloe Larousse, Surayeka, and Victoria Pickett. We are drawing ever closer to the start. We're drawing ever closer to the start of the first half. And just before we go into the match proper, the match officials are: the referee is Liina Leetovara of Finland, assistant referees Caroline Karusia of Estonia, but before we go into the rest of the referees, England are playing a 4-3-3 formation with Earps in goal. Then Daly, Bright, Greenwood, and Stokes are the back four. Three midfielders of Walsh, Toon, and Williamson, and the forwards are Hemp, Russo, and Kirby. Kirby was initially a midfielder, now she's been pushed forward. Canada are going the same 4-3-3 formation. Riviere, Buchanan, Gilles, and Lawrence are in goal. Then it's with Sheridan in goal. Then it's Fleming, Scott, and Grosso, the midfield. And at the front, Rose, Hoytma, and Becky. Borussia Dortmund, I've got one back on. Dortmund are now. Sorry, technical difficulties. Yeah, Dortmund now trail Rangers 4-2. Just seen a shot of Janine Becky. The rest of the match officials are Poliseni Iradoku of Cyprus. The fourth official is Shona Shakrula of the Netherlands, with the referee observer of Dagmara Damkova. Everyone now getting into a position as we prepare to kick off England against Canada at Riverside Stadium. And the players are now taking the knee in support for the ongoing fight against racism. And just before we kick off, Tiraspol lead Braga by 2-0 at the latest, and we're off at the Riverside Stadium between England and Canada. And that looks like Demi Stokes had the ball briefly. Now it's been taken by Millie Bright, and just saw a brief glimpse of Julia Grosso, and was also about to mention that 9 of the squad were past the side that won gold at the Tokyo Olympics on penalties against Sweden. And Grosso, as I mentioned just now, scored the winning penalty. Daly back towards, I think that was, think that might have been Leah Williamson. In fact, it was. Millie Bright now for England, a regular at Chelsea. She passes downfield to Kira Walsh. Kira Walsh has impressed during England's World Cup qualifying campaign. Demi Stokes now finds, I think that went to Lauren Hemp, who scored in England's 20-0 victory against, I can't believe I've forgotten who it was. Do please let me know who it was in the comments. I'd like to appreciate that. So Canada throw in after only a minute and 20 seconds. Fleming passed back. It was Latvia, and out that goes the ball. And Alex Greenwood also a regular in the side throughout the World Cup qualifying campaign. Thrown to England, taken by Stokes. Bright towards Walsh, and now picked up by Canada, but not for long though. England have managed to take the ball back, courtesy of Leah Williamson. She was trying to find Ella Toon, but couldn't quite make it. No, in fact, it was Frank Kirby. It was indeed Frank Kirby. I apologise for if I keep guessing it wrong. But Canada now have possession with Deanne Rose, but given away poorly to England, and it's now Walsh for England. Walsh passes on the left towards Stokes, who passes now towards Hemp. She's got Becky and Riviere all over her, but she does the right thing in my view and passes to another player, Greenwood in this case. Greenwood crosses to Lauren Hemp. Lauren Hemp doing her best to hold off Riviere and over the crossbar. Had she been a couple of inches closer, that would have been the opening goal that would have been England's opening goal. Hemp did really well to hold off Riviere. I think she was likely aiming for Frank Kirby, but a corner has been given to England. Kirby to take the corner. Has delivered quite a few corners. Interesting tactic to pass down towards Alex Greenwood. Obviously trying to go for someone like Ella Toone, but it didn't pay off. And a throw-in has been given to England because it deflected off one of the Canadian defenders. Taken very well by Daly towards Millie Bright. Bright towards Leah Williamson. Leah Williamson passes towards Demi Stokes. Demi Stokes trying to hold off Jessie Fleming. Jessie Fleming, a really good player at Chelsea. Alex Greenwood for England, but deflected by Janine Becky. Janine Becky, a regular at Manchester City, I believe. Yes, indeed, she is. Just been going over my papers. 4 minutes in, England 0, Canada 0. England still with possession, although Deanne Rose was trying to. No, it wasn't. It was Riviere. I think she was trying to tackle the ball off Millie Bright. Throw-in taken by Stokes towards Greenwood. Greenwood to Frank to Akira Walsh. Akira Walsh passes back towards Greenwood. Nothing to choose between the two sides at the minute. But it looked as though Leah Williamson might have something to say about that. And Greenwood has the mask on as she is suffering from a broken nose, as I've just been picked up. And Frank Kirby almost had the ball in goal. It was initially Lauren Hemp who passed towards Frank Kirby, but Kirby actually missed. Had Hemp sent the ball in a bit closer, that would have been England's opening goal. But England's second corner, can they convert it into a goal this time? The answer is no. Headed away, but I think it was actually glanced off the head of Ella Toone, but quickly picked up by Kaylin Sheridan, a regular at Women's Northwest the Women's Northwestern Soccer League side, San Diego Wave in America. In fact, most of the Canadian players feature for American sides. As Deanne Rose now has the ball. Deanne Rose, a regular in the WSL at Reading. Passed back towards Kira Walsh, and it's now Daly. Daly crosses the ball upfield, but it looked as though Lauren Hemp, Alessia Russo couldn't get to it in time. Alessia Russo, another of the players to score in England's 20-0 thrashing against Latvia. And Frank Kirby has been fouled. Kirby fouled, and Zenit St. Petersburg have lost to Real Betis 3-2. That's the full-time score. So an exit from the Europa League for the Russian side as Mary Earps clears the goal for Reading. And I beg your pardon, it was the first leg. I do apologise. I'm not up to scratch with European football right now. But back to the action here and now. It's Julia Grosso who crosses towards Ashley Lawrence. Canada have been very menacing in the opening. Canada have been very menacing throughout the past minute and a half, but England are holding out really well. Quite a few of the Canadian players will know Rachel Daly, who plays for Houston Dash in the USA. Daly passes back towards Earps, although she was actually out of position there when she passed back. I think that likely should have been a Canada corner, but it's a goal kick to Earps, so that was dealt with very swiftly. Kirby, but taken off by Lawrence, and it's now with Grosso and towards Desiree Scott. Now back towards Buchanan to Riviere. Riviere, she's been a thorn in England's side throughout this game so far. Just over 8 minutes gone. Still England 0, Canada 0. You're listening to the Commentary Hub. You can also hear us on the Commentary Hub too. J-DAC Football, JB Sports, Storm FM. You can also listen to us on Twitch. Get in touch with us on Twitter by following us at Commentary Live 1 or visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/the Commentary Hub. Greenwood towards Walsh. Kira Walsh now passes back to, I think that was Daly. Ball now picked up by Jordan Wheatman of Canada. It's now with Ginny. It was actually with Vanessa Gilles towards Kadisha Buchanan. Now back towards Gilles. Alessia Russo looks like she's going to take it off, but doesn't quite do it. Alessia Russo tries to go after the ball, but can't quite get to it. Gilles now has the ball for Canada. She passes to Grosso, and it's now with Buchanan, although it looks as though Lauren Hemp was going to take it off. And in fact, they brought each other down, although Hemp's got the worst of it. She's quickly back up, and Canada won their last meeting at Stokes Bet365 Stadium with goals from Bien and Nichelle Prince, who is on the substitutes bench. Canada were also hosts of the World Cup in 2015. England got through by beating them in the quarterfinals, and just seen a shout for offside go against Canada. It was Riviere, clearly offside. She was miles ahead of the defenders, so any efforts would have been wasted, and the ball quickly dealt with by Earps. Kirby tries to pass to, I think that was Hemp, but nothing quite comes of that, however, because Canada are proving to be very strong in defence. So the Olympic winning side, not to be taken lightly. Gilles towards Buchanan, although Alessia Russo is closing her down. Now it's with Riviere, although Lauren Hemp tried to take it off but couldn't. Riviere still has the ball. She passes to Janine Becky, who has Demi Stokes for company. Stokes tries to take it off, and England out goes the ball. England have also played only at the Riverside Stadium once, when they lost 2-1 when Phil Neville was in charge, to Brazil. And Janine Becky to take the corner for Canada. She steps back. Canada's first corner. England couldn't convert their two corners into goals. Will Canada be more fortunate this time? It looks like it could go to Gilles or Rose, and the ball goes into the goal area. Almost deflected off Rose, and it just about misses. I think it was Millie Bright who actually cleared it. Becky sent the ball in. Superb header by Buchanan towards Rose. Rose tries to get to it, but Bright was able to deflect it just in time. Although I think Fleming might have had a foot to it as well. But just coming up to 12 minutes, still England 0, Canada 0. This game looks like it's going to be a very, very close one, in my view. Buchanan passes to walk back towards Sheridan. Now back to Buchanan. Vanessa Gilles has the ball now. Gilles crosses and finds Deanne Rose. Deanne Rose has the ball, was almost tackled by Bright. Now it's gone to Ashley Lawrence. Ashley Lawrence crosses to Janine Becky, but picked up by Lauren Hebb. Becky's not giving up, and she passes to, I think that was Ella Toon, but Canada are still proving to be very, very aggressive. Hemp crosses. She tries to get to Alessia Russo, but the ball was with Kaylin Sheridan before she could even get there. Normally, England would have, against other teams, England would have been at least a goal up, but not against a side like Canada. And it's a throw into England in the 13th minute, and it's victory for Rangers. They beat Borussia Dortmund 4-2 in the first leg. Greenwood towards Millie Bright, although Mary Earps comes out of a goal to pick it up. Earps passes towards Kira Walsh. Now Alex Greenwood. Greenwood to Walsh again, although Jordan Hoytman is trying to steal it, but England were wise to that one. And it's now Alessia Russo trying to pick up the ball, but she can't get there in time. And it's offside anyway. Offside. So Stokes crosses deflection towards Russo, but was she actually offside? I couldn't really tell. She might have been just a fraction or so off, but that remains open for debate. Vanessa Gilles to, and I'm just getting confirmation. She was just narrowly offside, so that was probably bad luck. It was offside, but a poor giveaway now by Sheridan, and it's been picked up by Lauren Hemp. Lauren Hemp passes to Stokes. Stokes tries to find Ella Toon. She does, and it's now with Leah Williamson. Oh, Leah Williamson just misses. She was very good as the captain in England's earlier World Cup qualifying campaign, but it just misses the post. I think it might have actually bounced off, but anyway, good play by England. I think that was a delivery by Fran Kirby, and Williamson was there to pick it up. But nothing comes of it, and it's a goal kick given to Canada in the 15th minute. Canada managed by English-born Bev Priestman. And out goes the ball for a throw-in. Her assistant coach is another English-born individual, Richie Kyle, as Jada Riviere takes the throw-in for Canada. Riviere now with the ball. Riviere passes to Rose, but almost intercepted by Bright, although Rose holds on to it. And now it's Jessie Fleming, and she's been bundled down by Ella Toon. Ella Toon clearly frustrated at not getting the ball, but I think that was just a slight shove or something like that. Nothing too serious, but nothing given, but no caution given by referee Lena Leitovara. A free kick, though, has been awarded to Canada. It was aiming for, I think it was Khadisha Buchanan, but England dealt with this one very well. And it's now gone towards Ashley Lawrence, or picked up by Julia Grosso. And now Sheridan, 16 and a half minutes in, Canada 0, England 0, Canada 0. Buchanan towards, I think that was Fleming, but out it goes for a throw to England. In fact, it wasn't. It was, I think it was Riviere. Fran Kirby looks like she's been a strong force so far throughout this game. but hasn't really done much forward lately. As Riviere takes the throw for Canada. Picked up now by Vanessa Gilles. Gilles now towards Ashley Lawrence. Ashley Lawrence tries to keep the ball, but it's out for a throw. And I think it was deflected by Kirby, which is why it's now a throw into Canada. Lawrence throws to, I think that was Janine Becky. No, in fact, it wasn't. It was Hoytman. Hoytman gives the ball away to England, and it's now back with Mary Ertz. You're listening to the Commentary Hub, and you can hear us also on the Commentary Hub to J-DAC Football, JB Sports, Storm FM, and also on Twitch. As Leah Williamson now picks up the ball for England, tries to pass to Kirby, but was intercepted very well by Desiree Scott. Scott passes to Rose, and it's almost picked up by Hoytman, but England have taken it back. Kirby just misses it. Or is it Kirby? No, it's Ella Toon. Ella Toon now with the ball for England. The Manchester United forwards. Poorly given away to Canada. Now picked up by Williamson. Williamson, a regular at Arsenal, but has done really well so far during her time as England captain, not just in this game, but in the World Cup qualifying campaign. As mentioned earlier, in place of the injured Steph Horton. Gilles now with the ball again for Canada. She passes to Ashley Lawrence. Ashley Lawrence tried to find Hoytman, but Millie Bright was just there in time. And it's now with Rachel Daly. Daly passes to Kirby. Kirby now with the ball, and it's now gone towards Walsh, but now back towards Kirby. Picked up this time by Alessia Russo, but just over the line. It's a throw. The ball was just over the line. Unlucky by Russo to just miss out. Coming up to the 19th and a half minute now. It's still England 0, Canada 0. Lawrence with the ball for Canada, but given away to Ella Toon, and almost had it, but brought down. No, it was Russo. Alessia Russo was fouled by Ashley Lawrence. Russo tried to grab the ball, but Lawrence just couldn't. But Lawrence just managed to foul her right there, and then whatever it was. It's a free kick has been given to England, and it looks like it'll either be Fran Kirby or Alex Greenwood to take the free kick. I can't tell who it will actually be. It looks like Kirby will be the one to take the free kick. Just trickling into the 20th minute, and Kirby does indeed take the free kick, headed by Millie Bright, but just missed a chance to score. It looks like one of the Canada defenders has gone down. I couldn't see who, but there was the free kick by England, and it just glanced off Millie Bright, although I think Kadisha Buchanan was the player who got the touch. Indeed it was, and that kept Canada's goal safe for the time being, although it might not be for long. Punched away by Sheridan, and that is going to be an England corner because she punched it out of goal line, and the corner kick has been taken by England. Greenwood crosses into the goal area, punched away again by Sheridan, and it's in! Rachel Daly has scored the opening for England. I thought it was safe, but no, it wasn't. England are in front. What a finish by Daly. Superb delivery into the goal area by Greenwood. It looked as though it was going to be saved, but Bright it was actually just right in there, just punched it right in at the last moment. Apologies for getting it wrong at first, but now I have since worked out it was Millie Bright, because she just fired it in from a long way off, and the delight on her face and the show of the heart. Just amazing what Millie Bright can do. Canada have got to pull back. Canada have got to pull back very quickly if they want to stay involved in this, because once England score the first goal, then they are unbeaten. Then they are next to unstoppable, in my view. Bright towards Walsh, then Greenwood, and nothing less than the Lionesses deserve for Mike. They started the better team. I would have to agree with Mike on this one. Cannot wait to hear his thoughts at half-time. As it's Demi Stokes now back towards Greenwood, and now straight back to Mary Earps. Earps now towards Bright, and Daly with the ball, and passes to Leah Williamson. Williamson now with the ball for England. She passes to Alessia Russo. Russo back towards Williamson. Now Fran Kirby, or is it Ella Toon? I think it's Fran Kirby. Lauren Hemp now with the ball. Hemp tries to find someone to pass it to, but she was fouled and goes out of play, but she's quickly back up on her feet. I think that was from Buchanan. Buchanan just tripped her up there, but nothing worthy of a card or anything. I think it was Hemp's momentum that caused her to trip up. I think when Hemp just tripped up, she just lost momentum. Another corner given to England. Kirby sends the ball into the goal area. Almost picked up by Russo. In fact, it is now picked up by Russo. Russo tries to find someone to pass it to, but Canada appear to hold fire very well. Bright's now with the ball. Headed by Hemp, and now Russo, now caught by Ella Toon, and it's now with Alex Greenwood. But Canada doing very well to defend on that occasion. Despite going a goal down, Canada appears to still be holding their own. We're now just into the 24th and a half minutes. It's still England 1, Canada 0, and a throw-in has been given to England. Let's take another look at what happens with the corner. This was the resultant goal from Millie Bright. Just came out of it with her right foot, and out of nowhere, you could say. Sheridan has the ball for Canada. She passes to Vanessa Gilles, and now Ashley Lawrence. Ashley Lawrence towards Lauren Hemp. No, it was in fact Williamson. Williamson now with the ball. She passes to Kirby. Kirby towards Russo, back towards Kirby. And it's now with Ella Toon. Ella Toon, she passes back towards Fran Kirby, and it's now with Alessia Russo. Alessia Russo tries to make it too, but Sheridan was just in time. Bright was completely unmarked, according to Mike, but this was what happened with Alessia Russo. She tried to find the correct angle. She tried to find the right angle, and that would have almost been England's second. But Sheridan was very quick to react. Julia Grosso now with the ball, but she passes to Kadisha Buchanan. Buchanan now with the ball for Canada. Passes back to Sheridan, and it's now with Vanessa Gilles. Gilles to Lawrence, but deflected away by Kirby, and it'll be a throw into Canada. Ashley Lawrence to take the throw for Canada. She throws to, I think that was Desiree Scott, but the ball goes out again. I think it was England who dealt with it, and it's now another throw to Canada to be taken by Lawrence, picked up by Fleming. Now back towards Lawrence, headed towards, I think that's Janine Becky, but in fact it isn't. It was Jordan Hoytman, but a foul now by Alessia Russo on Gilles. The referee says play on. Buchanan now with the ball for Canada, who passes to, I think that was Lawrence this time, but Buchanan manages to still hold on to the ball. Sheridan has the ball just inside the goal perimeter, and she passes back to Buchanan. Now it's with Janine Becky, but England managed to take it off her. Fran Kirby, she crosses to Russo. Alessia Russo finds Ella Toon, but dealt with very well by Ashley Lawrence. And it's now Desiree Scott for Canada. Scott towards Janine Becky. Now back to Lawrence. And the ball's out of play. No, in fact, it wasn't Lawrence. It wasn't Scott. It was Jessie Fleming. This was Ella Toon, but dealt with very well by Kadisha Buchanan. Demi Stokes. Stokes passes to Greenwood. Now back towards Fran Kirby. Kirby now with the ball. She passes on the left side to Stokes. That looked like Lauren Hemp. Now it's Stokes back towards Hemp, and out it goes for another throw. There seems to be a lot of throw-ins in this game so far, but it'll be a throw-in to England. Stokes to take the throw. No further changes. No further. Mike will, as mentioned earlier, Mike will be bringing you the halftime scores from the latest and halftime scores from Europa League matches first leg. As Deanne Rose has the ball for Canada. Rose tries to hold off Stokes, is doing very well to hold off, but it's now gone to. But it's still in Canadian possession. It's now Jessie Fleming. Jessie Fleming now with the ball. She passes to Hoitzman and now picked up by Riviere. Riviere towards Fleming again. Fleming back now towards Scott. Scott now towards Buchanan. Buchanan now with the ball, although Russo wasn't far behind her. I think she deflected the ball away with that slide tackle. Leicester against Rangers have just kicked off in the European Conference League, as has Celtic against Bodo or Guilt. We'll get more news from Mike at half time. I think that might have been a tackle from Rachel Daly, but Daly has come off worse of it. She's gone down onto the ground. That might have resulted in an injury. Desiree Scott might have been involved with that one as well. She was talking to the referee. I think she was giving her a sort of verbal caution, and in fact, yes, indeed, she was involved. Scott Daly tried to take the ball, but I think she might have done something on her leg. Anyway, she's quickly back up on her feet. She has been. It was actually Randers, a Danish club, but we'll have more news from Mike a little later on. Anyway, Rachel Daly back up on her feet. That's good news. Was just about to say she has been prone to injuries in the past, but that doesn't appear to be the case tonight. Buchanan to Stoke to a Rose, and it's now with Hoitzman. Although Millie Bright. Did very well to tackle that one and just takes a bit of a foul on Fleming. I think this game is getting more physical by the minute, as neither side is willing to concede 1 inch. Canada still looking to hold their ground and possibly try and get a goal in against England. England are hungry for more, as Janine Becky tries to hold off Demi Stokes to no avail. As out goes Stokes, and a throw-in will be given to Canada to be taken, which it is. Straight now towards Desiree Scott. And straight now towards goalkeeper Kaylin Sheridan. Kaylin Sheridan passes to Vanessa Gilles. Gilles crosses up the field, but can't find a player, but can't find a teammate to cross it to. But it was gone, so that's why it's gone straight to Earps. Daly. Now Daly passes back to Earps. Just over 32 minutes gone. It's still England 1, Canada 0, and you're listening to the Commentary Hub. We're also, on the Commentary Hub too, J-DAC Football, JB Sports, Storm FM, and on Twitch. As it's Greenwood now with the ball for England. She passes to Millie Bright and Rachel Day and Leah Williamson. Now Greenwood. Greenwood crosses. I think she was aiming for Rachel Daly. She was, but Canada have intercepted, wised up to that. It's now Jessie Fleming for Canada. Fleming crosses to Hoytman. No, in fact, it wasn't. It was Janine Becky, but dealt with very well by England. Kadisha Buchanan to Jade Riviere. One of the players who was part of Canada's Olympics winning squad back in Tokyo last year. Throw into England to be taken by Demi Stokes. Stokes throws, and Stokes quickly takes that one, and it's now with it was with Alessia Russo briefly, but the ball has gone out for another throw into England. I think it just deflected off a Canadian player. Demi Stokes to once again take the throw in for England. Serena Wiegman, very composed and quietly confident as ever. Why wouldn't she? Why wouldn't she be? She hasn't lost a single England game so far in her tenure. Lauren Hemp now for England. Hemp now tries to find Alessia Russo. She does, and now towards Ella Toon, deflected by the Canadian defenders. England looked like they were going for a second goal, but it was not to be. Superb delivery and play by Stokes onto Hemp. Hemp crossed very well towards Russo, and the ball was picked up by Toon. Russo did very well to cross to Ella Toon. Toon tried to go for it, but couldn't. Buchanan now with the ball for Canada. Very outstanding. One of the players to contribute to that very outstanding block we saw just now. Kira Walsh now with the ball for England, who crosses to, I think that's Daly. Yes, indeed it is. Daly to, I think that was Janine Becky, although I couldn't see who it was. Ashley Lawrence now with the ball for Canada. Lawrence does very well to hold on. She passes to Janine Becky. Becky towards, I think that was Grosso. Indeed it was. And it's now with Jada Riviera, although Hemp's looking to tackle it off. She does very well to hold on, and it was aimed for Deanne Rose, but quickly blocked by the England defence and Mary Earps. Superb delivery, superb blockage by Lauren Hemp. With just under 10 minutes until half-time, it's still England 1, Canada 0. Rachel Daly now for England. Don't forget, Mike will be bringing you the latest from the Europa League and the Europa Conference League during the half-time interval, as England looked like they were about to go for their second, but Canada quickly closed that one down. No need to make room for a substitution, as Daly will take the throw in for England, which he does. She throws to Fran Kirby. It's now been picked up by Leah Williamson. Williamson passes to Greenwood, and it's now with Demi Stokes. Demi Stokes straight back towards Ella Toon, and she's gone for Lauren Hemp. Lauren Hemp tries to take it, but quickly tackled by Riviere. Riviere did very well to halt Hemp's advance towards goal. Lawrence now with the ball for Canada, and it's now with Gilles, and it's now gone back towards Ashley Lawrence. Again, a thorn in England's side, just like Kadisha Buchanan. England have the ball, although it's now been taken by Jessie Fleming. Fleming passes to I think that's Desiree. That's Grosso. Grosso now towards Riviere. Riviere tries to find Deanne Rose, but intercepted by Earps. Earps picked that one up very well. Daly with the ball, looking to try and find someone to pass it to. Deanne Rose, she's had her moments throughout this first half. Lauren Hemp now with the ball for England, and she passes to Stokes. Stokes passes tries to cross towards Alessia Russo, but nothing comes of that one either. I mean. Good teamwork by England. Russo just couldn't get to the ball in time. So Russo was very unlucky to not pick that one up and make it 2 for the Lionesses. Bright now towards, I think that's to Williamson. Williamson passes to Toon, and it's now gone towards Rachel Daly. Canada just can't seem to cope with the Lionesses when they are coming forwards. So says Mike. I think you're right there. Greenwood with the ball. She passes to Stokes. And it's now with Greenwood once more. Greenwood passes towards, I think that might have been Ella Toon, but Canada have picked the ball up once more. It's now Becky. Becky with the ball. She passes to Fleming, who goes straight into Millie Bright. But they're both back up. No action needed as Fleming has the ball. She now passes to Desiree Scott, but England are quick to intercept. England have had the most possession so far in this game, and that goal from Millie Bright has only just added to their consistency and dominance of this game. Although Canada have been standing up to them really well, bar that singular goal. Ashley Lawrence now with the ball for Canada. 5 minutes to go until half time. Williamson tries to tackle it, but it's only gone out it only goes out for a throw. Canada to take the throw. That was a really good tackle by Bright on Fleming, but nothing quite came of that. Ella Toon now with the ball for England. Toon passes to Fran Kirby. Kirby tries to find Rousseau. She does, but is blocked by Buchanan. Rousseau was, I think, in the wrong place at the wrong time. She must be upset about this, and why wouldn't she be? I actually think Buchanan did play a bit unfair there. She could have at least not been so harsh on that tackle with Alessia Russo, but that's just my opinion. Here's Lauren Hemp. She passes to I think that's Daly now towards Fran Kirby. Back to Leah Williamson. It's now with Kira Walsh, and straight now to Stokes. Back to Walsh. Walsh passes to Greenwood. Greenwood now towards Bright. Very good. Very good teamwork by England. And Frank Kirby pushed down by Ashley Lawrence, I think it was. Yes, indeed, it was Ashley Lawrence. That looked a bit unnecessary, a bit rude in my opinion. But no cards given. That looked a fairly sort of tame tackle. But will this result in anything? No. Lauren Hemp fouled inside the 18-yard box. No penalty given. As Stokes now has the ball. England are still hungry for more goals. Frank Kirby passes to Williamson. Williamson now back towards Kira Walsh, and now Alex Greenwood. Alex Greenwood with the ball for England. Greenwood passes to Stokes. Stokes tries to find someone to pass it to. Stokes finds Kirby, who deflects it back. Canada tried to take it off, but England are still in possession. Crossed by Williamson towards Rousseau. Rousseau picks up the ball. The ball was initially deflected by Vanessa Gilles. Daly towards Williamson. Williamson holding on to the ball. And now that was an attempt on goal by Lauren Hant. Just whistled past the posts. That bit of play just goes to show how dominant England are as a whole and why they are hungry for that second goal. I thought it went off Hemp's foot. I think it deflected off her knee just briefly. But the goal score still remains England leading Canada by 1-0. Rose tries to take the ball away, but England are having none of it. Millie Bright passes to Earps. We're coming up to the final minutes of normal time in the first half. There will likely be 1 or 2 minutes added on before half time. Throw-in has been given to Canada and quickly taken. It's now Desiree Scott passing to Vanessa Gilles. But England have been able to pick that one up, and it's now back with Frank Kirby. Kirby passes to Lauren Hemp, who tries to find Ella Toon, but Canada do very well to stop that one. Superb pass, superb halts, superb tackle by Scott, but Canada can't do anything further from that one. We're coming up towards the end of the final. We're coming up to the end of the 45 minutes in the first half, and the Lionesses have been very, very good in possession when they are dominant throughout any game that they do. They are very, very dangerous. We're now into the 45th minute, and there goes the whistle to signal the end of the first half. England just came straight out of the blocks and were very dominant throughout this game. Canada had their moments too, proved to be very tough opponents, but Millie Bright's goal from that corner delivery was just superb. Will they be able to add more? Can Canada close down the gap? Halftime score at the Riverside Stadium for the Arnold Clark Cup. England 1, Canada 0.
Thank you very much, Nicholas, and a brilliant first half performance from England that has been as well from the Lionesses there. To a woman, to a lady, whatever you want to say, they've been outstanding in that first half. Thoroughly deserving of the 1-0 lead that they have as well. Really, it should actually be more than the one goal, in my opinion. They've had other chances as well, and the Lionesses have looked brilliant. It looked I put a tweet out just a minute ago saying they look like prime Arsenal from back in the day when Arsenal had the likes of Thierry Henry and players like that, Dennis Bergkamp, etc. The Lionesses have been playing some beautiful football, playing really, really good stuff, and thoroughly deserve to be 1-0 up at half time. So great coverage as well from Nicholas there. Just want to go into some scores for some full-time and some latest when you go into the Europa League, and then we've got games taking place in the Europa Conference League as well. It was Barcelona 1, Napoli 1. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang started for the first time for Barcelona. Didn't get on the score sheet though. It was Torres that scored from the penalty spot for Barcelona to cancel out Zielinski's goal in that one. Rangers went to Borussia Dortmund and won by 4-2, thanks to a penalty from Tavernier, Morelos, Lundstrom, and an own goal by Zagadou, with Bellingham and Guerrero getting goals back for Dortmund. Sheriff Tiraspol beat Sporting Braga by 2-0, and Zenit St. Petersburg lost 3-2 at home to Real Betis. Atalanta are currently trailing 1-0 to Olympiacos. FC Porto and Lazio is 0-0. RB Leipzig 0, Real Sociedad 1 is also a latest score, and Sevilla 1, Dinamo Zagreb 0 is also another latest score in that competition as well. Coming into the Conference League, it's currently Celtic 0, Bodo Glimt 1, and Leicester 0, Randers 0. The Bodo Glimt goal scorer was Espejord, who scored for them after 6 minutes in Scotland. Other games that have finished as well in that Conference League there. FC Midtjylland beat PAOK Salonika by 1-0. Fenerbahce lost 3-2 at home to Slavia Prague. PSV Eindhoven were 1-0 winners over Maccabi Tel Aviv. And Rapid Vienna won 2-1 over Vitesse. Also, latest scores, Marseille 0, FK Karabag 0 as well. And Sparta Prague 0, Partizan Belgrade 0. So that is some scores there, some full-time, some latest. We'll keep you across those as they come in. It's actually Atalanta 0, Olympiacos 1 now. Dos Santos has just scored for them. And Sevilla beaten Dinamo Zagreb by 1-0 with Rakitic as well. And Lenormand has scored for Sociedad against RB Leipzig as well. So a couple of goals that have just gone in there. But I'm going to come to Nicholas in a minute regarding this England game here, the Lionesses against Canada. I've been watching it as well, watching it very, very closely. And I think that the press from England has been absolutely brilliant. I want to get Nicholas's thoughts on that, the way that England have pressed the Canadians when the Canadians have had possession and closed them down, and the way that England have actually gone about their business in that sense, because I really think they've pressed and closed the Canadians down really, really well, and not giving the Canadians really any time on the ball, in my opinion. I don't know if you agree with that, Nicholas, as well.
Yes, I certainly do. England, as I mentioned in commentary, England are very, very dangerous when they're in form. I mean, it's not just Millie Bright's opening goal, as I mentioned. That's been very good as well. Fran Kirby, she's been very good up front, as has Alessia Russo.
Yeah, 100%. There's a few players there that have looked really lively for England. I've been watching Fran Kirby quite closely in this game, and her positioning. She always looks like she's open. She always looks like she is wanting the ball. She's always wanting the pass, and she's always looking to make something happen. And that's exactly what you want from somebody playing in that position. She's had a very good first half. Alessia Russo, as you said there as well. Millie Bright obviously defended very, very well. Got a couple of crucial blocks in, as well as also getting the goal. And Alex Greenwood alongside her has also, looked pretty solid as well and not put a foot wrong. So the Canadians, 1-0 down at half time. And as I said, really, when you came to me here, Canadian fans and the Canadian management team here, in my opinion, should be looking at this game and thinking, we're lucky to only be 1-0 down.
That's right, because going down 1-0 is actually not bad because they've been very strong themselves on the pitch as well. I mean, Kadisha Buchanan, Julia Grosso, and I think Jada Riviere have been standout players for me. Although Jessie Fleming, who, as I mentioned, is a regular at Chelsea. She's been doing very well as captain so far.
Yeah, and I've just seen the goal here again now as well. It was a wonderful corner that was put in originally. Millie Bright left in acres of space, no one around her, no one marking her. And then the ball obviously fell nicely. So it took a deflection on the way in, but you're not going to take that one away from her because, I think it was definitely going on target, and I think it was certainly going to go into the back of the net as well. So Millie Bright, just showing her doing some defensive work and then getting England on the attack as well. She's looked really good defensively, which is her main job, and then she's come up with a goal as well. So good performance from her so far. And that's what the Canadians have to learn from, don't they? They have to try and stay switched on from these corners and set pieces, because you can't leave a player free in the box and expect them not to do anything, because that's just been proven by Millie Bright. There, you leave a player unmarked, the ball falls to them, then you're likely going to be conceding the goal.
Yes, we've seen it many times. You cannot give a player who is really good an opportunity like that. And Jessie Fleming will no doubt likely be aware of this, because Millie Bright is one of her Chelsea teammates.
Absolutely, yeah, they know each other really well from club as well, as you were just saying there. Just watching Hemp there as well. She looks like another really good talented player as well. And there was a couple of really big moments in that half. Obviously, there was the one that you looked at as potentially maybe being a penalty. It would have been really soft if that was given for me. But I think that Hemp has looked very, very good as well, and looked very, very dangerous going forward. One of those players that when you get her on the ball, she can certainly make something happen out of nothing.
Yes, and looking back, I think I actually made the decision rather fast. I think that move, which I saw as a penalty opportunity, was just a tackle that was a bit clumsy and soft. Nothing too serious. But as you said, Lauren Hemp, another one of the stand-up players. Leah Williamson doing very well again as England captain. I mean, she proved it during the World Cup qualifying campaign so far, didn't she? That she is worthy sort of captain material. I mean, but also Demi Stokes. She's been very good in defence as well.
Yeah, you have to look at the whole of that team. Really, you can go through the whole 1 to 11. The goalkeeper hasn't had a lot to do, but then what she has done, she's done with ease, and she's looked composed and assured when she's had to do anything. Coming for crosses and catches and everything like that. And then when you look at the two fullbacks, obviously the fullbacks have been getting forward and sometimes been left in space as well when putting some good balls into the box. And yeah, you can look at any one of those players really from that first half as having an impact. Obviously, people will pick out Millie Bright for the goal, but there's plenty of talent on that England side there to go on and add to this as well. Touching on Lauren Hemp and Fran Kirby, and then if you go to the bench as well, obviously we've got fantastic players like the caliber of Ellen White, who everyone knows how good she is, and how much she loves these competitions as well. She'll be itching to get on to grab another goal.
Put Ellen White in any tournament, she'll do anything in my view. But some other players on the bench that we could potentially look out for include Georgia Stanway and Lucy Bronze, as I mentioned, has returned to match. Has only just got back to fitness, recovering from an injury. But also look out for the likes of Beth Mead, Nikita Paris, Jordan Nobbs making a return to international competition as well. Can't see a standout Canadian substitute apart from Nichelle Prince, who scored in England's last friendly against them. But as I mentioned earlier in commentary, Canada. But as I mentioned before kickoff, Canada, they're a side not to be taken lightly. I mean, they did win the Olympic game. They did win their Olympic tournament. So, but this is surely going to be a different kettle of fish.
Yeah, 100%. It's all about how Canada come out after half time now and what they can do here. The pressure's on them now. England can kind of relax a bit, go out and play their natural game. With Canada obviously having to get a goal, and if England can continue and carry on the way that they played in that first half, then for me, if you look at those players on the bench as well, there's so many quality players on the bench there that you mentioned that can come on and have an impact when you look at that England side there. So for me, I can only see there being one winner. Yes, Canada are a fantastic side. Yes, they've won the Olympics, and they've done won in other tournaments and things like that as well. But the way that England have played in this first half, if they can keep this kind of press up and this kind of intensity up throughout the next 45 minutes as well, then I only see England going on and adding to the goals in this game, and maybe getting another goal, maybe another 2 goals in this one, and coming out on top. But as you say, Canada are a very, very good side, and you still got to be wary when it's only 1-0, because 1-0 is a horrible scoreline, isn't it?
Yes, indeed it is. But I've seen worse. But England, like you say, they can afford to relax a bit. Not too much though, because nobody likes a side getting complacent. Canada, the ball's very much in their court. They really need to up their game. It's now down. But it really is now down to what Bev Priestman says to her team as they gear up for the next 45 minutes. Should they play perhaps somebody like Deanne Rosa forward more, or perhaps give the likes of Janine Becky more of a chance? We'll just have to see as we tick towards the second half.
Yeah, that's right. We'll be handing back over to Nicholas in just a minute, just for the second half coverage. Will be back on the way. I think the 2 teams will be coming out any minute now to find out what happens in the second game here of the Arnold Clark Cup. Obviously, earlier on, Russ was on air and he covered the game between Germany and Spain, which ended 1-1. And we're going to be covering this competition as a whole as well, all the way through to its conclusion or to its climax. Including the games, obviously, on Sunday between England and Spain and Canada and Germany as well. I think you're back for England again on Sunday against the Spanish, aren't you, Nicholas?
That's right, yes. And in fact, I'm actually slated to do both Canada. I'm actually slated to do both Canada against Germany as well as England against Spain. But the second half is just moments away now.
That's right, and obviously you just mentioned that you're doing the 2 games that day, so plenty of work for you to get into your weekend. But yeah, we're going to hand back over to Nicholas now. The 2 teams should be coming out any minute. England 1-0 up at the interval. Can they go on and can they add to that, or will the Canadians be able to pull it back and get themselves a result? We'll find out with Nicholas any minute now. Cheers, mate. We'll hand back over to you again now.
Thanks, Mike. That will be a shock, won't it, if Canada somehow managed to pull something miraculous out of the bag and go on to beat England. But the England fans, as ever, turning out in force at the Riverside Stadium. There seems to be plenty of them. As for the Canada travelling supporters, haven't seen many of them lately. So that although that would have been very brave of the supporters that have crossed the Atlantic just to see their team. And in fact, the players are now coming out of the tunnel. It looks like most of the England players are coming off first. I believe Jordan Hoytman is the first of the Canada players to come out. And one fan is just saying please, and one little fan's just showing something, a sort of a cardboard thing which says, "Please, can I have your shirt?" That's very cute. That is, as Millie Bright does a bit of stretching. The player to score the goal, but she'll be possibly looking at more defensive work in the second half. But we shall see. It now looks like all of the Canada players are just coming out now. Serena Wiegman now coming out of the tunnel and into the dugouts. Hasn't lost any of her games so far, but it doesn't look like she'll be losing this one tonight. But then again, I could be wrong. She might at least have this one go to a draw, but we shall see. The England team now getting into discussion and tactics for the second half, and in fact, an early substitution before the second half has even kicked off, as Georgia Stanway comes on in place of Ella Toone. Ella Toone, she had a couple of good chances to score, but her evening's work is done as Stanway comes on to take her place, and it looks like it will be Lauren Hemp who will who will be the first to start the second half. And away we go at the Riverside for the second half of England against Canada in the Arnold Clark Cup. And England start as they mean to go on, really, as it was, I think it was Kirby who just had the ball, although I think she was tackled by Ashley Lawrence. Indeed, she was. This was what happened. Kirby tried to get to it, but I think Lawrence just clattered into her. Kirby grimacing in pain by the looks of it, although she is able to still carry on. Canada now have the ball, courtesy of Julia Grosso. Julia Grosso, another player who's done very well for Canada so far, tried to pass to Ashley Lawrence, but tackled by England. I think it might have been. It was either Kirby or Stanway who might have tackled her, but we shall see. No, in fact, it was Deanne Rose that they tackled from. Don't forget, England are playing in a 4-3-3 formation. And the same with Canada. Canada now have the ball for a throw. They've thrown, I think that was Lawrence who threw, but it's now been picked up by Desiree Scott. Straight now to Jade Riviere. Now it's straight to Kadisha Buchanan and Vanessa Gilles. Vanessa Gilles now for Canada. And it's now gone straight back to Kadisha Buchanan. Buchanan for Canada. And now picked up by Millie Bright. Again, does the work. Again, does very well defensively. Or was it Daly? I think it might have been Rachel Daly. Canada now inside the 18-yard box with Janine Becky. Although England have dealt with that one very well. Jordan Huitzman now with the ball for Canada, although picked up by Millie Bright. Georgia Stanway now with the ball for England, although it's now been passed back towards Fran Kirby. And Kirby has been brought down again. I think that's the third time she's gone down, and Ashley Lawrence was the person who tackled her. Bit of a rough one. Bit of a rough tackle on Kirby. Kirby was indeed tackled by Stanway. Bit of a rough one, but no caution given against Ashley Lawrence. In fact, it is. Ashley Lawrence has gone into the book. I did say that tackle was a bit rough, and I think that yellow card was very well deserved. Bright towards Earps, although Earps manages to clear the ball out, and it's a throw-in to England, although I think it's an England throw because it deflected off a Canadian player anyway. Stanway is and Mike is saying that Stanway could have another impact on the game. I think he's right. He has been pretty much throughout the whole of this program. Let's just. He better hope that all his predictions come true as England try to make something of it and try and get a second one in. But Canada doing very well to hold on defensively. Sheridan manages to clear that one. And it's now with the captain, Leah Williamson. Williamson towards Kirby. Kirby passes to Millie Bright. Now Greenwood. It looks as if Jordan Huitman was going to be very menacing with that one. Stokes tries to hold off Janine Becky. Now it's still in England possession, courtesy of Alex Greenwood. Janine Becky still wants the ball. Greenwood tries to make sure she doesn't get to it as Stanway pushed down by, I think that was Gilles. No, in fact, it was Alessia Russo, who had a couple of chances herself in the first half. Janine Becky for Canada. Becky to, I think that was Jade Riviere, although that was a very rough challenge by Lauren Hemp. Hemp lucky to get away with that one, in my view. Becky to Jordan Riviere, now towards, I think that was Jessie Fleming. Yes, indeed it was. Fleming, the Canada captain. in place of Christine Sinclair. Christine Sinclair, remember, absent because of a family bereavement. Bev Priestman, the Canada head coach, must be wondering what on earth the team has to do to try and break through England. Although she's hoping that the halftime team talk has had some effect. Will have some effect throughout this game. It's showing none whatsoever, as England are still very much the team in front. Still leading by a goal to nil after almost 51 minutes. It's now with Desiree Scott for Canada, though. Kirby trying to take the ball off Canada, and indeed he has put Leicester in front 1-0 against Randers. Buchanan towards I think that was Vanessa Gilles. Now it's gone to Jade Riviere, and now towards Jessie Fleming, although Demi Stokes tries to take it off, and it's now with Kira Walsh. Kira Walsh now for England. She's defending very well against Janine Becky. Walsh passes to Stokes. Stokes now has found Alex Greenwood, and Greenwood passes back to Walsh. Kira Walsh tries to hold on. She does. Very well done. And it's now with Lauren Hemp. Lauren Hemp now with the ball for England. She's looking to pass it to Georgia Stanway. She has, but couldn't quite find a way through. And it's now back in possession with England. Although Canada doing very well to keep it out of the goal area. England are still hungry for it, but Julia Grosso is holding on to it very well. Ashley Lawrence crosses to Janine Becky, but no, it wasn't. It was Jordan Wheatman, but Earps is very quick to deal with that one. Alex Greenwood crosses the ball. It was aiming for Fran Kirby, but Canada do very well to halt that attack. Not for long, though. Canada still holding on very well defensively. It's now with Jessie Fleming. Fleming had an opportunity to go for goal, but I think she aimed at the wrong angle, and it was deflected by Demi Stokes. Good play from Lawrence towards Fleming, or was she going to cross to Becky? I think it looked as though she was going to cross to Becky. It was actually Deanne Rose who found Fleming, and Fleming looked like she was going to score that one herself, but it was way off. But it was way off beam there. Alex Greenwood with the ball for England does very well to hold the attacking force of Becky and Fleming, and it's actually gone up for a throw, and it will be Jada Riviere to take the throw. She does. Riviere towards Janine Becky. Becky now with the ball for Canada. Becky tries to find Fleming. In fact, she goes to Desiree Scott. It's now Jessie Fleming. Fleming towards Buchanan. Now gone back towards Fleming. And Georgia Stanway has the ball for England. Superb cross by Brights, headed by Vanessa Gilles. Although England now have the ball back. Georgia Stanway for England. Stanway did very well to hold off Jessie Fleming. And it's now back with Alex Greenwood, straight to Kira Walsh, and Walsh now towards, I think that's Lauren Hemp. Yes, indeed it is Lauren Hemp. Lauren Hemp passes to Stanway. Stanway finds Kirby. Kirby tries to pass to a player, but it's taken away by Canada. England now take the ball back. Stokes passes to Greenwood. Greenwood now has it, and it's now taken by Bright, who passes down the wing to, I think that's Rachel Daly. Yes, indeed, it is Daly, but Canada take the ball back, and it's Ashley Lawrence now with the ball for Canada. Lawrence passes to Janine Becky. Janine Becky, can she find an opening? She can! Canada have levelled! Whatever halftime team talks have What tactics were devised? They seem to have worked for the time being. I wasn't expecting anything like that. Canada did show their strong moments throughout the first half, but it looks as though they might have only just gotten that little bit stronger. Becky saw an opportunity, pounced, and has levelled the score for the North American side. Canada now equal against England. England have to find a way to respond to this one very quickly. And Bev Priestman, one very happy head coach right now. But will this happiness last? We shall just have to wait and see. And what a goal that was from Janine Becky, the Manchester City player, in the 55th minute. England now have got to pull their socks up, and they have to do so fast. It's now with Georgia Stanway. Stanway quickly towards Kirby, tackled by Lawrence. Now picked up by Daly, tries to pass back to Kirby, but Canada still have it. Canada have now got the ball courtesy of Hoytman. Hoytman passes to Ashley Lawrence. Lawrence tries to pass it to Fleming. Canada, it looks as though the boot is now very much on the other foot. England are starting to feel the pressure a bit. Kirby now with the ball for England. It's now gone to Alessia Russo. Alessia Russo passes to Stanway. Stanway towards Walsh. And Walsh now passes to Lauren Hebb. Lauren Hebb now with the ball. She's running ahead of the defence. She tries to go for it. Punched away by Sheridan. She's had a couple of chances herself in the first half, but it looks as though this chance would make it England's second goal, but Kaylin Sheridan was very wise to that. Just deflected, just palmed that one away very well, and it's now resulted in a England corner. And just a couple of just a comment from TRMT showing their support for Canada, and it looked as if Russo was going to try and make something of that corner, but nothing doing. Canada proving to be very strong in defence, although Millie Bright has just skied the ball up into the air and over it goes. England have been momentarily England looks as though they were momentarily stunned after that Canada goal, but it looks as though they might be starting to work their way back into it. Alessia Russo had the ball and tried to find an opportunity to score, but nothing came of it. And it looks as though a substitution for Canada is about to be made, as it looks as though it'll be Julia Grosso to come off in place of Nichelle Prince. In place of Nichelle Prince, and it looks as though Jordan Hoytima is going to come on for Quinn as well. Quinn comes onto the pitch. They are wearing the number 5. Riviere towards Becky. Becky looks like Becky passes back towards Sheridan. No latest goals coming in from Europe. From the European games. We'll let you know as and when they do. It's Becky. Becky passes towards. I think that was. I think that might have been Print. I think that might have been Prance. Canada, and it's now Quinn for Canada. They pass to Riviere. Now back towards. Becky. England have managed to head this one away. It's now with Desiree Scott. Desiree Scott for Canada. She passes to Ashley Lawrence. Lawrence straight now towards, I think that might have been Nichelle Prince. Quinn tries to take the ball, but England get there before they do. Quinn now again with the ball for Canada. Passes to Riviere and Becky. Riviere again now back with Quinn. But England now have the ball, courtesy of Brights. It's now with Stanway and Stokes. Demi Stokes passes to Alex Greenwood. Now Demi Stokes once more. Kira Walsh. Walsh crosses down the wing towards Daly. Daly now with the ball. She passes to, I think that might have been Hemp. Yes, indeed, it is now Lauren Hemp. Lauren Hemp now with the ball for England. Canada holding up very well in defence. It's now we're now slightly over the hour mark. It's England 1, Canada 1. You're listening to the commentary hub. Will Canada make it 2 from Deanne Rose? And the answer is no, they won't. Cross by I think that was crossed by one of the midfielders, and Deanne Rose so close, just couldn't find a way through. Nice deflection by Millie Bright, and that will result in corner to, and that will result in a corner to Canada as Janine Becky gets ready to kick the ball into the box. She does. Headed away by Alex Greenwood, and England now have possession once more. Daly straight now to, I think that was Lauren Hemp. Stokes now once again with the ball for England. England just haven't been able to find a way back into this, and they need to start getting back in fast. And just before half-time, Randers have pulled a goal back against Leicester. They are now level at the King Power Stadium. Greenwood with the ball for England, and it's now passed to Demi Stokes. Stokes passes to Kira Walsh. Kira Walsh holding off the advances of Jessie Fleming momentarily. Walsh passes to Stanway, but a poor pass by Stanway, and it's only resulted in the ball being picked up by Caelan Sheridan. And another England substitution is about to be made. By the looks of things, it looks as if Beth Mead, the Arsenal forward, might be coming on. And being told that it looks like it will be 4 substitutions for England. We'll be letting you know about them as and when they come. As Riviere has the ball for Canada, although I think she was tackled by Walsh and has now gone down onto the pitch. She's still on all fours. It looks like she might be in some kind of pain. I'm not too sure. Kira Walsh with the ball for England. Play should be stopped. Indeed, it has, but it hasn't been, as Alex Greenwood now has the ball for England. Why don't they stop play now? Stokes with the ball for England, but it's been taken by Quinn. Quinn sends it out of play, so it's not a head injury. It's not a head injury. I didn't think it was a head injury. It looks like it was just might have been a knot to the back or something. It might, or is it a strained leg? I'm not too sure. She's feeling around the cut. She's feeling around what looks to be around the thigh area. And Rachel Daly is going to make a substitution. And Daly comes off in place of Lucy Bronze, back from injury, as I said earlier. And it looks like Leah Williamson will be making way as well. On comes Nikita Paris, another Arsenal player, formerly of Manchester City. Nikita Paris, another star quality player, both at international and club level. And also, it looks as though Alex Greenwood will be making a substitution as well, as too will Lauren Hemp, On Come, Jess Carter, and Beth Mead. Beth Mead, another brilliant player at international level as well, has scored a few goals in England's recent World Cup qualifying campaign. As the physios now go over to have a look at Jada Riviere. She's hobbling along the pitch, so it might be something to do with the calf muscles or hamstring. I'm not too sure, but whatever it is, it's certainly around the leg area. She's moving about, which is good to see, and it looks as though Chloe Larousse will be coming on to take her place, and and indeed she is. Chloe Lacasse. I thought it was Larousse, but it's actually Chloe Lacasse. So apologies for getting it wrong first time, as Demi Stokes takes the throw-in for England. Straight away towards Walsh, now back towards Stokes. Kirby towards Alessia Russo, I think it was. No, it wasn't. It was Beth Mead. Now it's with Nikita Paris by the looks of it. Paris tries to find a player, but it's deflected towards Fleming. Now it's with Ashley Lawrence, straight back towards Fleming, and out goes the ball for a throw, and it'll be a Fleming throw-in. As Lucy Bronze tries to direct her teammates to where they want to be, to where she wants them to be. Paris now with the ball. And it's now with Georgia Stanway. Kira Walsh. And it's gone straight towards Beth Mead. But quickly picked up by Kaylin Sheridan. Still 1-1 between England and Canada. And you're listening to the Commentary Hub. And you can also hear us on the Commentary Hub too. J-DAC Football, JB Sports, and also on Twitch. If you want to get in touch with us, then do please follow us on Twitter at Commentary Live 1, and also get in touch with us on Facebook at facebook.com/the Commentary Hub, as Demi Stokes gets ready to take another throw-in for England. She does, towards Kirby, who passes back to Stokes. A poor giveaway there, as Quinn takes the ball off. They pass it to Desiree Scott. But Canada still managed to keep possession of the ball. It's now with Kadisha Buchanan back towards Quinn. It's now with Ashley Lawrence. Ashley Lawrence, Quinn again. Quinn has been one of another of the players that have proved themselves to be a thorn in England's side, as has Lawrence and Buchanan. Buchanan now for England. Canada. As Stokes now picks up the ball and almost intercepted by Fleming. And it's a throw-in to Canada. Janine Becky to take the throw-in for Canada. I thought it was going to be Jessie Fleming, but the decision was changed at the last minute. Fleming tried to pass it back towards Becky, but Stanway just kicked it out, and Becky will take the throw-in once more for Canada. It's now Ashley Lawrence for Canada. No, in fact, it's Nichelle Prince. Manages to clear that one out. One of the player who scored against England in their last game, which was that friendly at the Bet365 Stadium last April. Another throw into Canada. This is, I believe, the third in under 2 minutes, but nothing comes of that one. Just coming up to 20 or so minutes left. Bev Priestman, not satisfied with that equalising goal. I think she wants more of it. England still haven't managed to find more of an attacking form to get themselves back into it, which is very surprising from England, because normally in games like this, when they're equal or a goal down, they somehow manage to find their way back into it. Could this be one of those rare occasions? Jess Carter towards, I think that was Stanway. Now back to Stokes. Stokes back towards Carter. Now Stanway. Stanway crosses and finds Lucy Bronze. Lucy Bronze holds off Ashley Lawrence. Bronze sends it into the 18-yard box, but cleared out by Vanessa Gilles. And it'll be a throw-in to England. Nikita Paris to take the throw-in, which he does. And it's now with Jess Carter now passing back to Stanway and Stokes. Stokes passes to Beth Mead. Beth Mead! Long-range shot, but saved by Kaylin Sheridan. Mead should have got in a bit closer, but I think it was actually deflected by Desiree Scott. I think it might have actually been a tackle from Scott, who obviously didn't want it to go into the goal. And Stokes has fouled Chloe Lacasse by the looks of it. Indeed, she has. And Lacasse straight onto the ground. Quinn crosses towards Ashley Lawrence. Lawrence now with the ball for Canada. Nikita Paris hounding her, but Lawrence doing very well to hold on. Almost ended up at the feet of Becky, but nothing comes of that one. It's still England 1, Canada 0 as we're into the 72nd minute. No further goals coming in from European competitions. We'll just have to see how those pan out. So we'll have more news from Mike at full time. Throw-in taken by Demi Stokes of England straight towards Jess Carter, and it's now with Stanway now back towards Stokes. No, sorry, it was Kira Walsh. Now it's with Earps in goal. Stanway crosses and finds, I think that's Lucy Bronze. Bronze towards Kira Walsh. Kira Walsh holding onto the ball and passing to Millie Bright. Bright now back towards Carter. Stokes again. Now back to Carter. Carter holding on to the ball. Stanway back towards Carter. Carter to Bright. Bright crosses upfield towards Lucy Bronze. Bronze finds Nikita Paris. Now it goes back towards Bronze. Tackled very well by Lacasse of Canada, but England have managed to get that ball back, although it's a bit of a wrestling match between Alessia Russo and Chloe Lacasse, quickly sorted out, and it's now with Jessie Fleming for Canada. Lauren Rose now picks up the ball for Canada. The Reading forward had it briefly, but she's passed it back towards Ashley Lawrence. Rose picks it up again, but it's tackled very well by England. And it's now Kira Walsh. Kira Walsh crosses towards Frank Kirby, but dealt with very well by, I think that was Vanessa Gilles. Indeed it was. And Kirby has come off second best because of that. A slide tackle by Gilles on Kirby. Kirby currently down on the ground, but straight back up, so no apparent injury. And Alessia Russo looks like she'll be coming off. Indeed, she will. And on comes Ellen White, the Lionesses' top scorer with 48. Though she'll have come on when the Lionesses need her most. Lucy Bronze for England. Was aiming for Georgia Stanway, but Canada still managed to have possession of the ball. Earps has to defend from Becky and does so. Headed away by Gilles, now picked up by Ashley Lawrence. Canada have shown really good defending throughout this second half. England have failed to match that so far. Even though the score is level. Jess Carter for England almost picked up by Prince, but Carter quick to hold her own. Walsh towards Lucy Bronze. Stanway back to Bronze. And now straight back towards Mary Earps. Earps passes to Walsh, who finds Bronze, but the ball goes out of play for a throw. 14 minutes to go until full time. England really need to start piling on the pressure if they are to get maximum points in this one. But Canada just need to hold on firmly, and they're doing just that. It's now with Janine Becky. Can she make it 2 for Canada? It looks like she's going to try and have a go, but no is the answer. And it's now straight towards Kadisha Buchanan. Kadisha Buchanan has proven really good in defence for Canada. Janine Becky once more for Canada, but halted by Paris. And it's now with Mary Earps for her to clear out. You're listening to the Commentary Hub, and you can hear us also on the Commentary Hub too, J-DAC Football, JB Sports, Storm FM, and on Twitch as well. Follow us on Twitter at Commentary Live 1, or visit us on Facebook at facebook.com/the Commentary Hub. As Ashley Lawrence now has the ball once more for Canada, but it goes out for a throw. Throw in to be taken by England. I thought it was going to be Fran Kirby, but no, it's going to be Lucy Bronze. Lucy Bronze to take the throw. She throws to Kira Walsh. Walsh passes to Kirby, and it's now with Kira Walsh once more, and it's always headed for Ellen White, but it's now with I think it's Alessia Russo. Indeed, it is. Almost passed to White, but headed straight out by Canada. Really good quality defending from the North American side. As as it looked as though Prince was going to have an opportunity to score, but Earps was quick to deal with that one. Fleming it was who crossed to Prince. Prince tried to go for it, but Earps was just too quick for her. At the moment, Canada looked like the strongest side right now. England had the most possession in the first half, but Canada looked as though they have closed the gap in terms of possession, and neither side are willing to yield and concede 1 inch. But England need to score if they are to win, and soon. A Canadian player has gone down. It's Quinn. Might have been a tackle from Ellen White, or was it? No, it wasn't. It was Beth Mead who ran into them. As a substitute for Canada has been made, as Deanne Rose makes way for Victoria Pickett. Victoria Pickett comes on. Currently at Kansas City Current, the National Women's Soccer League in America is currently in pre-season. The season proper is due to start in around about a few weeks' time. Kadisha Buchanan passes to Janine Becky. Becky, but England have picked it back up with Paris, although Canada are quick to intercept that one again. Lawrence now for Canada, and as a matter of fact, I'm actually going to give her our player of the match, as sponsored by Commentary Services, because she has been very good in holding, in intercepting and holding off any England advances. So congratulations to Ashley Lawrence, who gets my player of the match, as sponsored by Commentary Services. As it's Millie Bright now. Bright towards bronze. England now have the ball through courtesy of Stokes. It's now with Walsh. Walsh tries to find someone to pass it to. Goes back towards Stokes. Stokes now, but Canada quick to take that one on. Quinn crosses the ball. Quinn crosses the ball forward. But England quick to take that one back. It's now bronze and Paris. Paris now, it's a bit of a kerfuffle going on inside the goals area, but England can't do anything about that one. Kira Walsh tries a long-range shot, but saved by Sheridan. England are now starting to get desperate, in my view. Good cross into the goal area by Bronze. Paris was brought down by, I think it was Buchanan. Yes, indeed it was. No penalty given. Buchanan lucky to get away with that one, in my view. She would have actually been my runner-up for our player of the match. But just because Ashley Lawrence has been so brilliant both in attack and defence, she gets my nod. As Lacasse passes to, I think that might have been Fleming, but Paris tries to go after it, but caught by Fleming. It's now with Ashley Lawrence. Lawrence now with the ball and brought down by Paris. Just under 7 minutes to go. Still England 1, Canada 1. Buchanan now with the ball for the North American side. She crosses and tries to find. I think it was Prince, but nothing comes of it. And also I think Victoria Pickett looked like she wanted a bit of that as well. Cleared by Earps. Now with Lucy Bronze. Bronze passes back to Earps. Now picked up by Millie Bright. Bronze. Now gone to Quinn. They clear it forward. Quinn takes it back and passes to, I think that was Vanessa Gilles, but Ashley Lawrence picks it back up and passes to Quinn, who tries to cross towards an attacking player that looked like Prince, but nothing comes of that one though. Desiree Scott passes to Deanne Rose. Now it's no, sorry. I think that might have no, it wasn't. It was somebody. Now it's with Ellen White. Ellen White not showing the form we're used to, which is a bit of a surprise, and brought down a foul by Buchanan. She's been given a yellow card straight away. Was Ellen White brought on perhaps too late? I think she might well have been. And Kadisha Buchanan, yellow card, shows no complaints. Ellen White understandably aggrieved. Ball goes straight into the Canada goal area, but cleared away by Janine Becky. And it's now with Jess Carter for England, who passes back towards Earps. 4.5 minutes to go now at the Riverside Stadium. It's now Demi Stokes for England, who passes to Jess Carter. Carter passes back to Stokes. And straight back towards Earps. And it's now with Fran Kirby. Kirby straight towards Demi Stokes. And now it's with Mary Earps once more. And it's now with Millie Bright. Almost picked up by Georgia Stanway. Lucy Bronze. Bronze crosses and finds Alessia Rousseau, but no, it wasn't. It was Beth Mead, but tackled by Vanessa Gilles as a throw-in to be taken once more by England. That was a throw to Demi Stokes. Now back to Lucy Bronze. Lucy Bronze tries to cross into it, but Canada showing very good defensive skills there. Sheridan clears the ball out of goal and finds, but so the ball has now been caught by England. It's now with Kira Walsh. Kira Walsh passes to Lucy Bronze. 3 minutes of normal time left. Walsh back to Bronze. Now back with Walsh. It's now Fran Kirby to Jess Carter. Carter passes to Demi Stokes, who finds Beth Mead. Mead tries to go for it, but Canada do very well to halt the charge. And it's now a goal kick to Canada. And Millie Bright, very good defensively, but very good defensively and having scored that goal, but mostly throughout the second half, it has been the turn of Canada to be the stronger side. Pickett passes to Janine Becky. Becky now with the ball for Canada. She passes to Desiree Scott. And now Kadisha Buchanan, who passes back to Becky. Now back to Buchanan. Buchanan passes back to Becky. But England just pick the ball up at the last minute, or don't they? They don't. It's out for a goal kick. And a goal kick will be taken. The goal kick will be taken by Mary Earps. And a bit of quiet satisfaction on the face of Bev Priestman. Will like to know what Mike's thoughts are of this game at full time. Bronze passes to Fran Kirby. Kirby now towards Georgia Stanway. And it's now with Demi Stokes. 1 minute of normal time left. Stanway towards Millie Bright. Bright passes to Nikita Paris, who's been pushed. I think that was Lawrence who pushed her. It's now back with Lucy Bronze. Millie Bright now back towards Jess Carter. And it's now with Demi Stokes. Janine Becky straight towards Victoria Pickett. And Pickett crosses to Becky, but nothing comes of it. It's another throw into England. England have just been losing control throughout the second half. Whatever control they had, whatever small control they have, it's fading from them fast. Stokes crosses towards Frank Kirby. 4 minutes of additional time have been added. Looks like it'll be 4 minutes of injury time, obviously because of what happened. Obviously because of that earlier incident with Jade Riviere. We hope she will be all right for Canada's next game against Germany on Sunday. It's now with England as Bright now picks up the ball for the Lionesses. They really need to stop. They really need to find that last a bit of attack and inspiration if they are to win this game. The minutes are ticking by very fast. It doesn't look like they're going to win this one. They may as well just settle for a point. Stanway towards Walsh. Walsh crosses. I think that she was aiming for Paris. She was. But Stanway now has the ball once again for England. It's now with Frank Kirby. Kirby passes, tries to find Kirby, but she tried to find Stanway, sorry. But Canada's defence rise up to the challenge once more. Walsh towards Kirby. Kirby passes back to Walsh. Walsh passes now towards Beth Mead. It's now with Kira Walsh once more. And it's now with, I think that was Georgia Stanway who looked like she was going to go for it. Indeed, she was, but saved by Sheridan. Lovely attack by Georgia Stanway, but Kaylin Sheridan just caught it when she needed to. Cross in by Chloe Lacasse, but England saved that one. And it looks as though a player has gone down. It's Fleming. It's Jessie Fleming, the Canada captain. I don't believe it. What on earth happened there? We'll just have to check that one out. Cross in by Lacasse, but I think that was an incident. I think Stokes and Fleming might have a clash there. I think she just caught up. No, I think she just got caught up in somebody else's incident. And I think Lucy Bronze just sort of elbowed her by accident. It was indeed a clash of heads, but Fleming appears to be all right. I think she just got caught up in somebody else's incident. We're now approaching the final. We're now approaching the 93rd minute. Just 1 minute to go for England to pull something out of the bag. They need to do it within this time. Time is running out for the Lionesses to win. They know it. Stanway passes to Kira Walsh. Kira Walsh now crosses to Nikita Paris. Can she pull something out of the bag? No. Goes straight to the ground. No penalty given. That I think would have been England's last chance to score the winning goal. It doesn't look like they'll do so now. A tackle by Ashley Lawrence was all it took, and it looks like both teams will leave this game with a point apiece. And we're into the 94th minute now, so both managers will, I think, at least be happy with just 1 point. And a free kick has been given to Canada. I think that will be the last kick of the game. No, it won't, because the ball has gone out of play. It'll be a goal kick to England. I think it was Deanne Rose who was going. It looked like Nichelle Prince was going to go for it. And there's the final whistle. It's full time at the Riverside. England were the team that were mostly in charge throughout the first half, but Canada appeared to have turned it round with that equaliser from Janine Becky. England need to go in and sort out what fresh new tactics they will go in for their next game against Spain on Sunday. But both sets of managers will, I think, be happy enough with just that singular point. Final score at the Riverside at the Arnold Clark Cup: England 1, Canada 1.
Thank you very much, Nicholas. So the Arnold Clark Cup, we've had 2 games today, and we've seen 2 draws as well. So it's a day of draws in the Arnold Clark Cup. Great finish there from Becky as well to get Canada's equaliser. I did just have a look at that penalty incident at the end of the game there as well. Before we go in and have a look at some of the other European scores from today and some later scores as well. Just, want to get your thoughts on that penalty right at the very end there as well, because personally, I've seen them given in the past, and I think that's why at the end of the game there, the England coaching staff were having a few words there with the fourth official. You can certainly see why, I think it might have been the assistant manager or one of the coaches there were in discussion with the fourth official at the very end there, because for me, that looks a foul on Nikita Paris.
I would have to agree with you on that one. I would have to agree with you on that one as well, Mike. But because it was so close to the end, because it was so close to the end, I think Lena Leitovara just wanted to finish it right there and then.
Yeah, potentially could had a factor in it. Could have played a part in it, maybe. Just obviously going to the game itself, we'll go through the game itself before I go into any scores, actually. In fact, England, we touched on it, were very, very good in that first half. We said that Canada had to come out and sort of show what they were about in the second half, and they did just that, really, didn't they? They were a lot stronger, in possession. They, were a lot more on the front foot in the second half as well, and they caused England quite a few problems. England had their moments as well, but I think Canada, in the end, were probably good value for the point.
I would have to say they were as well. I mean, not only did they try and attack through Becky and also Ashley Lawrence, who I mentioned as well, but so they've also been very good in defence. Kadisha Buchanan, she stood out for me very much in defence as well. But it's just a pity that that's J-DAC Riviere who did prove who did prove very strong in defence, had to be substituted early on in the second half.
Yeah, and as you said at the time, and a little bit later on in the commentary as well, we hope that she's going to be okay and that she's not going to be out injured for too long. Obviously, they've got a game on Sunday. I don't think she'll be fit or available for that one. It looked quite a nasty injury, so I think she'll be out for a couple of weeks or whatever. So I don't think she'll play any part at the weekend, or maybe not in any more of this tournament. I'm not too sure, but obviously, there's plenty of talent on that squad anyway for Canada there to come in and make a difference if need be. As for England, obviously they play again on Sunday, and it's Spain next for England, isn't it? On Sunday. What do you reckon? Do you reckon England can go one better and can get the 3 points? Because actually, in this performance, this game here today, I think they performed really, really well. And it was a moment of magic, really, that stopped them from getting, a victory. We gave Canada their credit and their dues just a minute ago, but England, were very, very good against a really top draw Canada side as well, weren't they? Yes, they certainly were. But But I don't mean to be highly critical of them. But their form throughout the second half just started to sort of tail off. To tail off. But they've certainly proven themselves to be worthy enough throughout this tournament. So I think they will stand a chance against Spain on Sunday. But given that Spain equalised against Germany, it could. But given how Spain equalised against Germany, it could go one of two ways. Yeah, absolutely. Of course, Russ covered that game this afternoon. Spain actually went ahead against Germany, and Germany got a late equaliser, so they were on the verge of. They're only about 2 minutes away from getting a positive 3 points rather than a point to kickstart their campaign. So they had to settle for a draw in the end. But I think this been a really, really good tournament so far. I've enjoyed this game today, the England game here. And, there's when you look at these two sides and you look at that crowd there as well, women's football is really taking off, isn't it, in this country, which is fantastic to see. And also, it's... when you look at the game there, obviously that second half was very competitive as well. So It kind of puts a lot of people's thoughts about the women's football kind of completely out of the water, doesn't it? Kind of people that say, women's football, might not be on par with men's for whatever reason. People might say that or believe that. If they watch that game, then they'll certainly probably stand up and take note and actually start to change their minds, which is great to hear and to see.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. It certainly is. I mean, not only is this an invitational tournament, it's also the Arnold Clark Cup is also a good opportunity for England to prepare themselves for their home Euros this summer.
That's right, and of course, just watching the goals here, there were two excellent goals actually. Obviously, Millie Bright with the first one, and then that second goal there, the equalising goal from Becky. Wonderful finish, really. That goal there just reminds me of like international players gone by. The likes of maybe a David Beckham or lots of players that that could do that. And obviously that was a fantastic goal from Becky there, showing why she's a top player as well for this Canada side.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, yes, absolutely. I mean, she's taken up the mantle. She's taken up the mantle really well in place of Christine Sinclair. We send out her condolences to her family from all of us at the Commentary Hub. But Janine Becky, she could be a really good thorn in the side for any of the remaining teams. It would be interesting to see how she and the likes of Jessie Fleming, as well as Ashley Lawrence, do against Spain and Germany in days to come. But will be interesting. But we'll have to see. I mean, Germany sound like a good opposition for Canada as well. So it could go. So it could also be a draw against Canada for Germany as well.
Yeah, and that's it. The competition here has got underway today with 2 draws, and that says a lot really about this. The 4 sides involved as well. There's not an awful lot to choose between any of the 4 really.
No, there certainly isn't. No, there certainly isn't. And I for one can't wait to see how it'll all be played out over the next few days.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a real fantastic tournament. Obviously, this is the first day of it today, the first few games of it. We've got obviously the games on Sunday and then the games next midweek as well, which include obviously the big one, England, Germany as well, which, I'm sure everyone's looking forward to. And I'm sure you're covering that one, I believe, as well, aren't you? I think on Wednesday next week.
I think I am, yes.
So we'll let you go anyway, and I'll just quickly run through some scores here now from the Europa League and the Europa Conference before we end the programme. It was Barcelona 1, Napoli 1. These are full-time scores. There's some that are still going on as well. Borussia Dortmund were beaten 4-2 against Glasgow Rangers. So a very fantastic result there going into the second leg for Giovanni Van Bronckhorst men. Obviously, they go to have the second leg at home next week on the back of a really good positive 4-2 win. Sheriff Tiraspol beat Sporting Braga by 2-0. It was then at St. Petersburg 2, Real Betis 3. And then some latest scores. Atalanta are beating Olympiacos by 2-1. 70 minutes played in that one. 68 played at Porto. They're 2-1 up against Lazio. RB Leipzig are trailing 2-1 at home to Real Sociedad. And Sevilla are winning 3-1 against Dinamo Zagreb at the moment as well. There's around about 20 minutes to go in all of those games, in fact. So that's coming towards the final stages of that one. In the Conference League, incidentally, it is currently Celtic 0, Bodo Glimt 2, and Leicester 3, Randers 1. It was obviously 1-1 not so long ago. Harvey Barnes and Daka are the 2 men that have added to Leicester's goals there and putting them back in the lead again now. Then coming into some other games from the Conference League as well. Quite a lot of these are finished. It was FC Midtjylland 1, PAOK Salonika 0, Fenerbahce 2, Slavia Prague 3, PSV Eindhoven 1, Maccabi Tel Aviv 0, Rapid Vienna 2, and Vitesse 1 as well. And then other scores, Marseille are currently beating FK Karabag by 2-0, and it's 0-0 between Sparta Prague and Partizan Belgrade. So that is just some European scores as well for you. and a little bit of a insight and an update there and everything that's going on, the full times and some latest scores as well. So thank you very much, Nicholas, for your excellent coverage and your excellent commentary tonight. Obviously you're back again on Sunday for a double header. So hopefully you can rest up and go and get yourself ready for that, because you've got a bumper day on Sunday.
Yes, indeed I have. Look forward to it.
Right, we're going to end the broadcast there. So thank you very much for listening, everyone. It's been the Commentary Hub's coverage of the Arnold Clark Cup. England won, Canada won. Continuing on the draws from today in the Arnold Clark Cup. They're both 1-1 draws, in fact, as well. So, as we were saying, not much to choose between any of the sides. We go into a real bumper day on Sunday now to find out who can take some initiative, who could get a bit of an advantage, and who can kick on now from getting their first points on the board. So from myself and from Nicholas, thank you very much for listening to the Commentary Hub. We'll be back with some more coverage very, very soon.